So, let us start this particular session on motivation, which we will continue from the last offline class. We have already discussed about need behavior equation, and we have discussed that what exactly motivation means. Just to recap, we need to look at that Encyclopedia of Management simply says that motivation refers to the degree of readiness of an organization to pursue some designated goals and employs the determination of the nature and the locus of the course, including the degree of readiness. It simply means that you must be understanding that motivation is nothing but a simply degree of readiness of any particular organization or person to address any situation with some course of action. Likewise, Carol Sattel also says that motivation is the reported urge or tension to move in a given direction or to achieve certain goals. As you are aware that this reported urge or tension is an outbound generation of or result of any need or want that you are having. As a human being, you must understand about the need, because that need defines everything related to the motivation. We talk about that some of the basic principles of motivation. These principles must be very clear to everybody, that these principles are being evolved after 30-40 years of social study on people and employees of an organization across the globe. It is not only a particular country or a particular state. Rather, it is based on most of the countries and the researches which are being conducted across the world. The first basic principle that works to every person is that all reasonably healthy people have considerable reservoir of potential energy. This potential energy may be differ in degree. Difference is in degree of this potential energy. So you can understand that every person is having some potential energy which is not visible. It is potential and it is in your personality, it is in your overall aura. And all people have some basic motives or needs. You need to understand the needs which we have discussed. All people have basic needs which can be considered as the outlets or valves to regulate that potential energy. So you are very important to understand that one thing, you have potential energy. At the same time, these needs or motives, these are considered as the regulator of your potential energy. Valves or regulators, they regulate the potential energy which is there in your personality. So this linkage is very clear. Third basic principle of motivation is most healthy people in a given socio-cultural system. Look at this, is very important to understand. Most healthy people in a given socio-cultural system have the same set of motives or energy outlets. So one thing is that every person is having potential energy. Every person is having some need or motives which works as a regulator, valves, outlets, switch. And most of the healthy people in a given socio-cultural system have the same set of motives. That means if I am affected by hungerness, so somehow you will also be affected by hungerness. If I am affected by some thirst, some recognition, So you will also be affected by the recognition. That recognition may be depending on the degree. Your degree may be different than my degree. So it simply says that you must understand the basic principles of motivation, how people feel motivated. Actualization of motives depends on specific situation in which a person finds himself or herself. That means those motives, needs, they are active or you actualize them or not. It depends on the situation. And the fifth principle, which I consider is very important, is that each motive leads to a different pattern of behavior. Say, for example, if you are hungry, your behavior may be different than when I am hungry. So my behavior in hungry situation may be different than your behavior in hungry situation. So each motives in different people leads to the different pattern of behavior. So I feel that these principles are very clear. Let me just recap. Every reasonable person must have potential energy. That potential energy can be regulated, is usually regulated by the outlets or walls, which can be needs or motives. Most healthy people in a common situation or given socio-cultural situation have same set of energy or motives, and the motives may result in different behavior. This is very important to understand basic principles. Now let us move to Abraham Maslow's theory of need hierarchy. Abraham Maslow had defined this need into 5 categories. These 5 categories are written over your screen. The first category, the primary need, the first need is physiological need. The second need is considered to be safety and security need. The third is social need. The fourth is esteem and status need. And the fifth topmost is the self-actualization need. If you look at the colors which I have used in the particular need case, these colors do have some reflection on the characteristic of the needs. Look at physiological needs may be considered like you are hungry, when you are thirsty. So physiological and basic needs are those needs like food, shelter, clothes, hungerness, thirst, sex. These are the basic and physiological needs which has some impact or most impact on human behavior. The pattern of behavior may differ, but these needs do have some impact on human behavior. Second level need is safety and security needs. You are always, start thinking about security needs once you have fulfilled your primary need. Say for example, when you first time move to out of your house, say for example you go to Bangalore, you go to Delhi for your job after placement, what happens? You land on the particular city, and the very first thing is that you try to fulfill your basic needs, hungerness. Go to station, maybe airport, and then you try to fulfill your first basic need, hungerness. So food, basic need. Shelter means you need some house to live in, or you need some living place. So you search for a hotel, restaurant, or guest house, or company accommodation. So if you have that thing, that need is fulfilled. So food, shelter, clothes you are already with you, and accordingly you can adjust. Whenever you need some clothes for your winter, you may purchase. Sometime it may happen that in Lucknow or Kanpur there is a too much cold, but you need go to Bangalore, this cold may not be in same frequency as in Kanpur. So you need some summer clothes or some light clothes. Maybe that once you fulfill this food, shelter, clothes, you move to second degree of need: security of your belongingness, security of your this food, security of your house, security of your job. So safety and security need emerges immediately after that. On the station, when you are eating food, you may have safety and security need as secondary and food as primary, and that is why some accidents usually happens when some thief take away your bag or belongings, because you are busy in your primary need fulfillment, and your concentration, your focus, your pressure is on your hungerness, to fulfill hungerness, and you slip to look at your safety and security, so against threat. So this is secondary level need that emerges once your primary is fulfilled. Sometimes you are concerned this secondary level need along with your primary need. It depends. It varies from personality to personality. Third level need is social need. Social need simply means that you want to be you cannot live in isolation. You have to live in social environment. So social environment means you want to love someone, you want to give love someone, you want someone should know you, and you should know someone. This is very clear. Social need means you want that some other person should know who are you, and you should also know who that fellow is. So this is kind of social need. It happens that very first day you join a job in Bangalore, you get your house, you get your job, you secure your job. So very next day social need emerges in your industry or in your neighborhood. You try to make relations, you try to make friends, you try to make links, you try to make people with whom you can say hi, hello in the morning, in the evening, good morning, good evening, like that. So it is a kind of social need that you fulfill. Now once your belongings are there, means someone know, your neighbors know that you are Mr. X and X, and you work in this company. So this is not okay. Once your social need is fulfilled, then your another need, next level need, esteem need, status need comes. Status need means third level need is that your neighbor know that you are so and so. And once your neighbors know that you are so and so, so very next need is that status need. You want that the neighbor give you respect according to your status. That means if you are managing director, or if you are some DGM or AGM, so first day it will be your social need. You would like to introduce yourself, and you would like to get introduced among society. The very next day you would like to expect, if you are junior, as per your understanding, you wish them. If you are senior, managing director, DGM, you expect that they should wish you, so they should recognize your status. So recognition need comes. So this thing is very crucial. There is a fine line difference between this status need and social need. Whenever your social need is fulfilled, your status need would automatically come on surface, and you need to look at. You need to you need to be recognized in the society. You need to be recognized by your friend circle group. So this need is something different. So sometimes people, student make this mistake of mixing both the needs. So once your status need, recognition need is fulfilled, then it comes about the self-actualization need. That means self-fulfillment need. You achieve a level where the materialistic things of this world are not affecting you. You work for yourself. You work for your self-satisfaction, self-fulfillment, self-actualization. You actualize yourself, your inner potential energy which you have, and you work for that. Say for example, scientists are not working for food. They are not working for safety security. They are not working for social need. They are rarely need that you should recognize them, give them respect. They work because they know that they have to do for their satisfaction. If you want to categorize, for example, you can categorize that mostly labor class is very much affected by physiological needs or safety and security needs. The middle class may be very much influenced or affected by social needs. Say for example, most of the time you must have heard a sentence that if you do some wrong activity or illegal activity, your family members says that what society will say, how will go to society. So there is a society pressure, and there are some people who want to, their motivation is status need. Say for example, your father is engineer, so there will be a need that you cannot compromise below the engineering position, or you have to become engineer to maintain status. So some people are working, some people are, motivated to not to achieve something but to maintain something. So status may be a thing which you get from your parents, and you want to maintain it. So to maintain that, you work. Self-actualization means scientists or researchers, and they are busy. They are not very much influenced by their appearance. Maybe that their physical appearance is not so good. Their clothes may not be so good. Their, they may not have properly shaved. They may not have properly, haircut and all. But they continue to work to actualize their own self. Now look at this thing. Most of the books you may not find it, but I am trying to explain this thing. How much pressure or effect of the need, if you find, so first degree means basic and physiological. Second, safety. You can match with the color also. So the maximum pressure, the maximum effect of, highest effect is of your first or primary need. That means if you are hungry, you cannot wait for anything. And there is a common saying also, "Bhukhe bhajan na hoye gopala." So something like that. If you are hungry, you cannot do anything, because this is most pressurizing, regulating valve, and this regulates so much that your personality, your thinking, everything, take a hold. So second, safety and security needs. The effect is little bit less than decreasing effect than physiological need, and then social need, then your status need, and actualization need is having the least pressure. And that is why People can postpone this. But just opposite to this, the development and emergence of the need, if you look at, is just opposite. The primary need emerges first, and this over the primary need, then secondary need, then tertiary need, then fourth level, then fifth level. This you can also understand with the example that I have given you. If you move to Bangalore, the first need would be food, then safety security, then social, then your status need, and actualization need comes at last. So emergence of the need is in this sequence. So Maslow tried to convince or tried to establish a theory which reflects that there is a sequence of emergence of the needs in a human being. So Maslow says that social need cannot emerge before your basic physiological need. And if you compare this social need with the primary need, you can very easily understand. If you're hungry, you don't think that whether you are eating at a chaat corner in a busy gully, or in your house, or in your decorated restaurant or hotel. So you forget about the social need. And the most common example I can tell you, that when I have observed that most of the time the youth class will go to eat these golgappas, they forget about social need. They can eat golgappa at any crossing, at any corner, at any place, which may not be good or may not be hygienic, but it is the food or the pressure of primary need. It is the pressure of primary need that they forget about the social need. Certain features of need hierarchy theory, which you need to keep it in mind. Higher needs are later developed, which we have discussed, figure B. Higher needs are later developed, primary needs are first developed. Higher the need, it is less pressing and can be postponed for satisfaction. Look at this. Higher need can be postponed for some time, for later stage, whereas the lower need, if you are hungry, you cannot postpone it for longer period. If you know that you have to take action for your safety and security, so you cannot postpone it for longer period. You will try to do it as soon as possible. So at the same time, you need to understand that higher the need, it is less pressing and can be postponed for the satisfaction. Living for higher level needs means greater biological efficiency, greater longevity of life, better sleep, better appetite, and less diseases. Look at, again repeat, living for higher level needs means the people who are for higher level need means recognition need, works for actualization need. Why these needs are giving you greater longevity, better sleep, better appetite, less disease? The reason may be in your this figure, the pressure. The pressure of higher need is less. So if pressure of higher need would be less, so your life would be cool. Pressure of lower need is high. So if pressure is high, so tension will high. So tension will lead to your blood pressure, your all diseases, and So it will affect in your, so living for higher level needs means greater biological efficiency, greater longevity of life, better sleep, better appetite, less disease. You can understand less disease with this higher level need. This is very important to understand. Common features. Higher needs requires greater outside conditions like education, economic condition to realize them. Look at higher level needs are these. If you look at esteem need, status need, self-actualization need, obviously recognition, self-fulfillment, these needs require education, economic condition. Because once you achieve a particular position or a status, and to achieve a status, you need to have economic condition strong. Self-actualization need. You should not have the basic economic conditions, because in that situation you will not be able to focus on your higher level needs. So higher needs require greater outside condition like education, economic condition. So you need to understand that these level of needs, they are very different in their nature. They have different pressure or their different emergence, and accordingly you need to look at these issues. We will continue this particular